Okay, good afternoon. So let others, let them join later. So we'll start the class. So yesterday we have discussed the few basics about the engineering graphics, the definition, the engineer, why it is called engineering drawing, what are all the tools which are used, the instruments which are used, the conventions we have discussed, dimensioning system we have discussed, okay, the representation, everything we have discussed, and even at the end we started with this projection. So projection is the key element or very important aspect in engineering drawing. Okay, this is the principle or the procedure that we have to follow. Okay, irrespective of the type of the object that we are the projecting it. So let me take 2 minutes before going to the this types of projection. A projection, as we have discussed yesterday. So any object, forget about whether one dimension, two dimension, or three dimensions. Okay, the representation of any object on a two-dimensional plane. Two-dimensional plane might be your sketchbook or your screen or your drawing sheet. Okay, that is called as a two-dimensional plane. And the projection, the procedure, what it says. So yesterday, so also we have discussed about it. Okay, this is the object. So if I keep it like this, the projection principle, what it says, we have to identify the, for example, you are looking from this direction. We have to identify the end points at the contour points. After identifying this, we need to draw the projector line. The line, why it is called projector? Because we are projecting the, okay, the identified points of the object towards the plane where we are drawing the object. That's why this line that we are projecting from the identified endpoint, it is called as the projector line. Got it. So after drawing this projector line till it meets the plane, we need to join it, okay, sequentially. Whatever the shape of the the drawing you will going to get, that is known as you are projected this object on the respective plane. So this is called as the projection. And coming to the different types of projection, so this is the major principle that you have to use in projection. So there are for different the engineering application, we have different types of projection. The orthographic projection, so almost starting from your projection of points till the projection of solids, we discussed this orthographic projection. And coming to this isometric projection, so the last chapter we'll discuss this. So the other two are industrial, the purpose they will use the oblique projection as well as the perspective projection. So we'll discuss only about this orthographic as well as the isometric projection. And coming to the orthographic projection, so ortho means 90 or perpendicular. So the same example, let me explain this orthographic projection with the help of this sketch. So yesterday one example I have given. Suppose this is the object. If I show you in a class, the first row whoever is sitting, okay, it looked like a, okay, because it is nearer to them, so it looked like a bigger size, okay. Then the second bench, third bench, like that. The last row who are all sitting, they will see the same object in a smaller size, okay. So that means uniformity we cannot maintain with respect to the size as well as the shape of your object. The same projection principle we'll be using in orthographic projection also. The only difference is, so what is the principle of projection? It says, so whichever the object it is, we need to identify the endpoints of your object. After the identifying it, we need to draw the lines from these identified points till it meets the particular plane. After meeting it, so the points what and all you have projected over there, you need to join it. Whatever the shape you are getting, that is the projected the object. Correct? The same principle. So I'll add two more things here. So what are all the projector line that you are the extending it or projecting it from the identified the 4 points. So such a way that you need to draw a projector line such a that these projector lines are parallel to each other. The projector line, whatever you are drawing from the contour of this the object, they are parallel to each other as well as perpendicular to the plane where exactly you are projecting it. If these two conditions were satisfied, then the same projection is called as the orthographic projection. If the orthographic projection is followed, then the person who is sitting in the first row, the person who is sitting in the last row, so everyone will get the same shape as well as the size of the object. So let me explain the help of this. So this is the actual projection. See, this is the your object. So you are standing somewhere here. Okay, you are the observer. So you are identifying the contour of this, all the endpoints of this, and you are projecting it like this. That means, so this is the size of the object. So the bigger the size of the object, you can see while projecting it. Whereas in the orthography, and here you can see the project, these are all the projector line. So assume that this is my end point, the outline or the end point, okay, that I have identified. Uh, Randomly, I am drawing the projector line over here. Okay, so that's why I am getting a bigger size, or even you may get the smaller size also, depending upon the distance where you are standing. Okay, with respect to your object. So whereas the orthographic projection, what is the condition I have given? The projector, after identifying the contour endpoints of the object, so from there, while drawing the projector line, see to that all the projector lines are parallel to each other. This is very, very important. And as well as the projector line which it is meeting the particular plane of projection, it is perpendicular to it. Then whatever the shape of the object that you are projecting it, same shape as well as the size you will going to get. So this is called as the orthographic projection. That's why your orthographic projection is also called as the 90-degree projections. Okay, so this is the difference between your the actual projection as well as the orthographic projection. So we discuss now onwards only the orthographic projections. After identifying the contour endpoints of the object, whether it is front view or top view or whatever it is side view, we need to draw the projector lines such that all the projector lines are parallel to each other, as well as the projector lines, wherever you are extending it, whether it is on HP or VP or profile plane, they meet those planes exactly 90-degree, are perpendicular to it or orthogonal to it. Then that such type of projection is called as the orthographic projection. So all of you understood this. Next we'll go to the next step, principal planes of projections. Okay, so this particular object, okay, if you see from different position, then only I can describe the entire the shape as well as size of this object. Okay, for that we have principal planes of projection. So let us discuss what exactly this the principal plane. So in order to have a complete description of the object, it is customary to have at least 2 or 3 views of the object. The planes on which these views are projected are known as the plane of projection. We have 3 planes of projection. The plane is nothing but it is exactly a flat surface. It's a perfect plane surface. Got it. For example, this room I can consider, if I consider this room, so wherever I'm standing, it is horizontal in direction, the floor. I can call this as the horizontal plane. Correct? So this particular wall which is behind me, it is in the vertical direction. Okay. I can call this particular the plane as the vertical plane because it is in vertical direction. And the third one is profile planes. Okay, the side walls on either side of me, okay, left and right, they are also in vertical direction only. They are called as the profile planes. So these 3 are the principal planes of projection. Okay, on these 3 principal planes only we need to draw the different views. That's what it is given. So to describe any object, minimum 2 views are required, either front view and top view. In some of the cases, I could able to describe the entire object. In some cases, these 2 views are not at all sufficient. Then I need to go for the third view also. For example, this is a square prism which I have taken. Okay, if I keep it like this, if you see from the front side, it look like a rectangle. If you see from the top, it look like a square. So with this front view and top view only I can able to describe or define the shape and size of this square prism. In some of the cases, some complicated shapes and all where I have some details, some holes or some extension on either left side, right side and all. In such a cases, I need to go for the side view also. So the three principal planes of projections, which are all three principal planes of projection. One is the horizontal plane, vertical plane and profile planes. So all these three, the planes are mutually perpendicular to each other. All the Fleming left hand rule like this. All the three, the planes are mutually perpendicular to each other. This is horizontal vertical projector and the profile, the planes. That's what, wherever you are sitting or standing, that room itself, we can consider that as the three principal planes of the projection. The floor is horizontal plane, and anyone either left side, right side or back side or front side, whichever you consider the vertical, the wall, you can consider that as the vertical plane, and left and right side of your vertical plane you can consider that as the profile plane. So it is customarily, it is symbolically, it is mentioned as vertical plane is VP, horizontal plane is HP, and profile planes PP are in particular in profile planes RPP or LPP we can call. RPP is nothing but right profile plane. The right side of you, it is called as a right profile plane. Left side of you, that this particular wall for me, it is called as the left profile plane. So that's all. So these things we'll discuss once again when I start the exercises. Okay. So that's what. I mean, the observer is viewing an object from the front side of it. For example, this is the object. Assume that you are the observer. You are visualizing this or you are seeing this object by standing front side of it. You are observing it. Okay. The corresponding view projected. So, what is the principle of projection says? You have to identify the contour points. 4 points are identified. And I'm drawing the parallel lines with respect to all the 4 points such that it is meeting a vertical plane. After that, I'll be joining those points. It look like a rectangle. Correct? The corresponding view projected on that the particular plane is known as the front view. Or even in civil engineers, they will call this front view as the elevation. That is the difference. So front view is nothing. It's very simple to understand. The object that you are visualizing, this object by standing front side of it. You are looking this object from the front side of it. The corresponding view, whatever you are projecting on this, the particular plane of projection, it is called as the front view, or even we can also call it as the elevation. The plane of projection where exactly you are drawing this the front view, it is called as the vertical plane. Always remember this, you can take it as a hint also. Always the front view you will be getting on the vertical plane only, always. Okay, whichever the object that you are drawing it, always the front view will going to get on the vertical plane only. Okay, so similarly, so the front view cannot describe the entire the dimension of this the square prism which I have given. In the front view, only the height of the prism as well as this the length. This you can see. I cannot get this width of the prism. For that next view, I have to go for the next view. So which is that view? The same object without disturbing its position. If you see from the top side of it, still the observer is standing here only, you are seeing the same object from the top side of it. So here also when you see from the top side of it, it looks like a square. So here also you have to identify the 4 contour points, and you need to draw the projector line from these identified points, and all these the projectors are parallel to each other and meeting the plane, that is horizontal plane. The corresponding view, whatever you are drawing on this horizontal plane, so it is called as the top view. Why it is called top view? Because you are seeing this object or visualizing this object from the top side of it. The view, whatever you are projecting on this, the particular plane of projection, so it is called as the top view. And in the civil engineer term, they will call it as a plan. Okay, and the plane on which you are projecting this top view, it is called as the horizontal plane. So this is also you can take it as a hint. Always the top view you have to write it on the HP only. On horizontal the plane you will get the top view. On vertical plane you will going to get the front view. So the different views we have discussed, and two principal planes we have discussed. For this square prism, front view and top view is sufficient. Okay, the front view, this height and this length I can get. The top view, even the thickness also I can get. So it is sufficient for me to describe the object with the help of front view and top view for this particular object. If some of the object, for example, this particular object, only in two views, because here some holes are there here. Okay, for this only front view and top view is not sufficient to describe the entire the shape and size of this object. In such a cases, we need to go for the one more view. It is called as the side view. So I'll explain what is side view. So however, the above two views, that is front view and top view, does not reveal the details of the object. Sometimes there's any fine details which are provided left side or right side, so we cannot see that. So to get the complete details about the object, we need to go for the side view also. How to get the side views? For example, this is the same object. Let me take, by looking at the front side of it, the front view I have drawn on the vertical plane. By looking at the top side of it, the top view I have drawn it on the horizontal projector, like that. By looking right side and left side of it, by looking right side and left side of it, I can draw the side views or profile views. I can draw. For example, if you are looking the object from the right side of it, whatever the projector line, after identifying the 4 points here also, you are drawing it on the profile plane. So you can call it as a side view. Always the side view you will be getting it on the profile plane only, whether it is right profile plane or left profile plane. Got it? If you see the object from the right side of it, so you're going to get the right view. If you see the object from the left side of it, so you're going to get the left view. That means, so left view and right view, always you will going to get on the profile planes, either on the left profile plane or the right profile plane. And one more hint, always the side view you will going to get on the either left or right side of the front view only. Always, once again I'll repeat, always the side view you will going to get either on the left side or right side of your front. So with this example, so three principal planes of projections we have discussed: the vertical plane, horizontal plane and profile plane. Either it might be left profile plane or right profile plane. Similarly, three principal views of projections. What is that? The front view, top view and side view. Okay, these are all very, very important: front view, top view and side view. Now we'll discuss the four quadrant system of projections. So we have four quadrants. How to get the four quadrants, and let me explain to you. When the already have given the vertical, the vertical plane, horizontal plane, as well as the profile planes, they are mutually perpendicular to each other. HP is 90 degree with respect to VP, and HP is also 90 degree with respect to your profile plane, either left or right profile plane. So these three planes are three mutually perpendicular planes. So when you will going to get four quadrants, when the vertical and horizontal planes bisect each other. If we consider this as the vertical, the horizontal plane and vertical, this is vertical plane. If you bisect these two, the vertical plane and horizontal plane, okay, so you're going to get the four quadrants. The line of intersection between your HP and VP, so this is HP, this is VP. The line of intersection between your HP and VP is called as the reference, the line, which is denoted by XY line. XY line is nothing but it is the reference line. Okay, it is the intersection line of your HP as well as VP, and the position of your quadrant with respect to your HP and VP can be will give you which quadrant. So the object is situated. Let me explain this with the help of this the fourth quadrant. So always how to identify the object where it is exactly located, whether it is first quadrant, second, third, or fourth quadrant. It mainly depends upon the distance with respect to HP and VP. Once again, I'll repeat it. In this particular the quadrant system, it may the object may be situated in any one of the four quadrant, first, second, third, or fourth. This particular the quadrant, mainly it is decided based on the position of the object with respect to HP and VP. I'll tell you. Okay, once this is one example which I have taken. If I bisect your HP and VP, I will be getting four quadrants like this. So this is first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant like this. So always the observer stands near the first quadrant only. For the second quadrant, observer won't go here and he cannot see the object. For the third quadrant, observer from here he cannot come here and he cannot see. He has to stand always near to the first quadrant. Got it? Now let me give you the details how to give the position for the object with respect to HP and VP. So observer always is standing here nearby the first quadrant. So this entire thing, it is horizontal plane. This is horizontal plane. It is B to B and A to A, and this is vertical plane. This particular look at the cursor where I am moving. So this is vertical plane and this is horizontal plane. Okay, when you bisect these two, so you're going to get four quadrants like this. Okay, for example, assume that the object is in the first quadrant. Then how we have to define this, the position of this object with respect to HP and VP? If the observer is here only, okay, if the object is in the first quadrant somewhere here, assume that object should be above HP some distance and in front of VP some distance. Then only I can say the object is in first quadrant. Once again, I'll repeat it. If the object is situated in first quadrant somewhere, assume that somewhere else it is situated. See, look at the cursor. Wherever the cursor is, object is situated here. So the position of this particular object, which is there, which is situated in the first quadrant, it is above HP some distance and in front of VP some distance. Above HP is this distance, in front of VP is this. Why in front of VP I am doing? Why above HP? Because this is HP. Above this, the HP I am taking some distance. That's why it is called as above HP. And the observer is standing here. So this distance becomes in front of him. Okay, because he is nearer to this first quadrant. So this is called as the first quadrant. First quadrant. So it is above HP and in front of VP. This is second quadrant. The second quadrant, assume that wherever the cursor I am placing, there is the object. How to give the distance of the object with respect to HP and VP? The object is here. Here also it is above HP. The distance with respect to HP is above HP, and the distance with respect to VP, it is behind VP. I have to call, because the observer is standing here. So this distance is behind for him. So so whichever the distance, whichever the object comes right side of the vertical plane, it is called as the in front of VP. So whichever the distance of the object with respect to left side of this vertical plane, it is called as the in front behind VP. Similarly, the object, whichever the object which is present above this HP, it is called above HP. Below this HP line, it is called as the below HP. So what about the position of the second quadrant object? It is above HP and in front or behind, it is behind VP. So this is the second quadrant. And coming to the third quadrant, assume that the object is here. Look at the cursor. Now the position of this object with respect to HP and VP, so it is below HP and this distance is behind VP. Then we can call this as the third quadrant. Similarly, the fourth quadrant, the object is here, and even the observer is nearer to the fourth quadrant also. So object is here, the position of the your object with respect to HP and VP below HP, and in front of VP. So like this, you have to remember the position of the object with respect to HP and VP. With this knowledge, you can able to identify so which quadrant the object is situated. Once again, I'll repeat it. First quadrant, it is above HP, in front of VP. Second quadrant, it is above HP, behind VP. Third quadrant, it is below HP and behind VP. The last one, fourth quadrant, it is below HP and in front of VP. So like this, so the four quadrant system we have to practice. I hope all of you understood this. And along with this, so let me give the profile planes also. And also one more thing. So before coming to this, so we assume that all this the planes, the vertical plane, horizontal plane, and including your profile planes, left profile plane as well as the right profile plane, they are transparent. We assume that they are transparent. Why means, for example, uh, the observer is standing here, the object somewhere else here. Can you see the object? You cannot see the object. For example, see the second quadrant. It's like the observer is standing in the first quadrant. So this is first quadrant, this is second quadrant. The observer is standing here. Can you see the object which is placed here? You cannot see that. So that's why we assume that the planes are transparent one. Then only you can see all the quadrant object without changing its position. And even coming to the next slide here. So I have given the left profile plane as well as the right profile plane also I have given, so that you can understand. So they are mutually perpendicular to each other. This is horizontal plane, vertical plane, they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Even profile plane also, they are mutually perpendicular to each other. So this is called as the four quadrant system. So I hope all of you understood this. And let me give you how to draw the front view and top view. So let me take one by one. So the first quadrant is this, correct? So this is first quadrant. So observer is here. So it is some distance above HP and in front of VP. We can call it as a first quadrant, correct? Now I need to draw the projection for this object which is placed in the first quadrant. Okay, the principle of projection, what it says, okay, so it is assumed that it is 20 millimeter above HP and 50 millimeter in front of it. The object is here. It is in first quadrant. The observer is here. So I cannot draw the top view on one sheet and front view on another sheet. I need to draw the projection, the definition, what it says. So we have to represent the three-dimensional object on a two-dimensional plane. For that, what is the procedure that we have to follow? So this is the first quadrant. Okay, if you see from the top view will going to get here in the horizontal plane. If you see from the front side, the front view will going to get a vertical plane. So how to draw this both front view and top view on the same the two-dimensional sheet or your sketchbook? So remember this. So always, so to draw this, the procedure for this is always we need to rotate the horizontal plane by 90 degree in a clockwise direction. See, this is your first quadrant, correct? By fixing the vertical plane, I am rotating the horizontal plane by 90 degree. So I rotated it. The intersection between your HP and VP, it is called as the XY line. Correct? This is the intersection line. So this is HP where I have drawn the top view, and this is VP where I have drawn the front view. So like this, I need to draw the projection for the first quadrant system. Okay. Similarly, this is the second quadrant. Okay. This is second quadrant. It is above HP and behind VP. So here also I can draw the top view here and front view here. Correct? I can draw the top view here and front view here, and we assume that it is a transparent one. That's why I can see the front view and top view from here itself. Now also I need to draw the front view and top view for the second quadrant also on the same two-dimensional plane. How to do this? What have Given the procedure, vertical plane we should not disturb. Horizontal plane we need to rotate by 90 degree in a clockwise direction. That's what I'm rotating it. If I do this, so this is the intersection of your HP and VP. This becomes your XY line. And in the second quadrant system, both vertical plane and horizontal plane will coincide with each other. And the front view and top view also will coincide with each other for the second quadrant. So like this, the second quadrant, the projection has to be drawn. Now coming to the third quadrant. So this is my third quadrant. The object is placed here below HP, behind VP. The observer is standing near the first quadrant only. And we assume that it is transparent one. That's why I could able to see the top view here and front view here. So here also to draw the front view and top view in the same two-dimensional plane, I need to rotate the horizontal plane by fixing the vertical plane. So I'm rotating the horizontal plane by 90 degree in clockwise direction, like this I'll go to it. So this is the intersection line, XY line. This is HP and this is VP. Here you're going to get the top view and here you're going to get the front view. So now we could be able to remember the first make out the first and third quadrant are mutually opposite to each other. The first and the third quadrants. How? The first quadrant, the VP will come above XY line and HP will come below XY line, and front view will come above XY line and top view will come below XY line. Whereas in the third quadrant, it is exactly opposite to that. In third quadrant, HP will come above XY line, VP will come below XY line, as well as the front view will come below XY line, top view will come above XY line. That's why first and third quadrant systems are opposite to each other. And coming to the last quadrant, this is my fourth quadrant. Okay, still the observer stands here only. It is a transparent one. So the position of the object is below HP and in front of VP. The object is here. The top you will going to get here and front you will going to get here. Now also I need to rotate the HP. This is my HP without disturbing the VP by 90 degree in clockwise direction. If I do that, so this is my intersection line HP and VP intersection line, that is XY line. So here the HP and VP will overlap here also. This is here I'm going to get both top view as well as the front view also will overlap. And here also could you make out the second and fourth quadrants are opposite to each other. In the second quadrant, the both HP and VP will go to get above XY line, as well as the corresponding views, both top view as well as front view will going to get above XY line. Whereas in the fourth quadrant, the HP and VP will come below XY line, as well as the corresponding views will go to get, that is front view and top view will overlap and you will go to get below the XY line. So if you understand this, it is very easy for you to make out okay which quadrant the point is situated in the first the chapter. I hope all of you have understood this, the exercise, and at the end what we can conclude, the first and third quadrants systems are widely used okay all over the world of the globe. Why means because in first and third quadrant the planes of projections HP and VP won't overlap with each other. If the planes are not overlapping with each other, the views also won't overlap. That is front view and top view separately, distinctly you can write. Okay, whereas the second and fourth quadrant projections are not being used. Why means because in both the cases the planes of projection will overlap with each other, as well as the front view and top view will also overlap with each other. If the both front view and top view will overlap with each other, then we could not analyze the drawing and we could not make out which is the front view and which is the top view. So that's why okay, have you observed in the projection of points, only in projection of points chapter, so you have discussed all the four quadrants. So after that, from straight line till your the solids chapter, only the first angle projection system are the first quadrant system we have used. Okay, because point is a dimensionless object. Okay, if I place a point on the same point, n number of points, it look like a point only. It will coincide on the same point. That's all. I cannot draw a point of the 2 millimeter, draw a point of 5 millimeter. A point is a point. That's all. It doesn't contain any dimension as such. So that's why the first and third quadrant systems are well only. It is called as the first angle projection system as well as the third angle projection system. Until 1990s, 97, okay, India, we were using third angle projection system. Okay, later to that, okay, according to Bureau of Indian Standard, Bureau of Indian Standard is a regulating body which governs the entire, okay, this engineering, graphics, systems, conventions, all those things. Okay, later to 1990, so till today we are using first angle projection system. Even in few countries, Western countries and all, they use third angle projection system. Okay. Only the difference between your the first and third angle projection system is the front view and top view where exactly you are writing. So that is the only difference between your the first angle as well as the third angle projection system. That's what I have given here. In first angle projection system, the object is placed in first quadrant. So what is the position of the object with respect to first quadrant? The object is placed above HP and in front of VP. And what about the top view and the front view? The top view and the front view lies one below the other. That is front view as well as top view. And side view also so lies either left or right side of the your front view. Coming to the third angle projection system. In third angle projection system, the object is placed in the third quadrant. What is the position of the object with respect to third quadrant? It is below HP and behind VP. Here also the top view and front view lies one above the other, and side view will lies either left or right side of your the front view. Coming to the a few important difference I have listed here just for your reference. You can observe in first angle projection system. So it's very simple one. The object is kept in the first quadrant, then it is called first angle projection. The object is kept in the third quadrant, it is called third quadrant. Front view is drawn above XY line. Is it true? In the first angle projection system, the front view will going to get above XY line and top view will going to get below XY line. In third angle projection system, vice versa. The front view will going to get below XY line and top view will going to get above XY line. Similarly, projection of the profile view, that is side view, is on opposite side. Thus I could not explain you. Let me explain with the help of this. See here. For the first and fourth quadrant, if you want to get the right side view, you have to come right side of it. From here you have to see. This is my right side. Whatever the view I am extending or whatever the projection I am drawing it on this profile plane. This profile plane is left profile plane for me. Okay, I am standing. This is my left side, left profile plane. This is right profile plane. If I want to get the right view, so from the right side I should see. Okay, whatever the object I am projecting it here on the left profile plane. Correct? The first and fourth quadrant, it is true. The right view you are going to get on the left profile plane, whereas if I want to draw the left view, I should see from the left side of it. Whatever the drawing I will going to get on the right profile plane. So that's why for the first and fourth quadrant it is true, since the observer is nearer to the first and fourth quadrant. The right view you will going to get on the left profile plane. The left view you will going to get it on the right profile plane. And whereas the second and third quadrant, and we assume that the profile plane is also a transparent one, not only the vertical plane as well as the horizontal plane. Okay, for the third quadrant, okay, if you see the because it's a plane is here, the object is here. So the right side, if you come over here, the right view will going to get on the right profile plane only because it's a transparent one. Similarly, the left view for the third angle projection system, it's a transparent one, so you're going to get it on the left profile plane only. So this is the only difference between the first angle projection system and third angle projection system. That is what one more the difference which I have listed here. You can see for the first angle projection system, the profile view is on the opposite side, that is left profile view is projected on the right profile plane and vice versa. Whereas for the third angle projection system, the same plane you will going to get, that is left profile plane, you will going to get left view, and right profile plane you will going to get the right view. And coming to the application, the last fifth one which I have given is the application wise. Okay, the first angle projection systems are used for the technical drawings, all engineering drawing, technical drawings it is used. And for your third angle projection system, it is used for the industrial drawing. Okay, some bigger the applications and all it is used, industrial purposes it is used. So this is the basic difference between your angle of projection, that is first angle as well as the third angle projection system. So this is what the method of projection recommended by BIS. That's what BIS is nothing but Bureau of Indian Standards. They are the regulatory body for India. Okay, to fix the recommendations, what are all the procedures, what are all the conventions, notations that we have to use, the procedure we have to follow in the engineer while drawing the drawing. So that's what I told till 1991. Okay, we were using the third angle projection system. So after that, okay, we were using the first angle projection system only. So next, let me give you one the example how to identify which angle of projection system I'm using my drawing. So are you remembering it last class? So I have shown you the layout of the drawing sheet. The title block also I have shown, where the symbol of the projection also I have shown. Okay, by looking at the symbol of projection only, I could able to get the information. So whatever the drawing which is drawn in the drawing sheet, whether it is first angle projection system or third angle projection system. For example, frustum of a cone. Let me take an example of frustum of a cone. So assume that this is a frustum of a cone. Okay, a frustum of a cone is nothing but it's a cone only. This is a cone. How to get the frustum of a cone? A plane is cut such a way that the cutting plane is perpendicular to your axis or parallel to base. After cutting it, the top portion I am removing it, only the bottom portion I am retaining it. So now, whatever the bottom portion I am retaining it, this is called as the frustum of a cone. Okay, for this frustum of a cone, if I want you to draw left view and front view by considering the first angle and third angle projection system, okay, then you can able to identify which is the first angle projection system and which is the third angle projection system. In the first angle projection system, for example, see, you can see here, so the front view you are going to get as a trapezium, correct? The front view it look like a trapezium, correct? And coming to the left view, he has to come this side. He has to come this side for the first angle projection system. But first angle projection system, left view will going to get it on the right profile plane, and right view will going to get it on the left profile plane. Correct? That means the left view you will going to get two circles. One is the base diameter of the cone, other one is the top face diameter of the cone. Okay, then it is called as the first angle projection system. For the first angle projection system, front view and the side view you will going to get it on the left view, you will going to get it on the right side of the front view. Why? This is the object which I have kept for you. The front view means you are looking from here, it look like a trapezium. Left view means I should come left side of it. The left view I will be getting it on the right side of the right side, that is an RPP. Left view will going to get it on the RPP. So that's why this symbol, if you see, okay, it is understood that it is first angle projection system. Whatever the drawing that is drawn on that particular drawing sheet, it is the first angle projection system. Similarly, third angle projection, same object. Okay, front view it look like a trapezium, and left view third angle, the third quadrant, the third angle projection system. Since it is a transparent one, left view will going to get it on the left profile plane only. That means left view you will be getting left side of your front view. So then you could able to identify it is third angle projection system. So how to identify the first angle and third angle symbol? If the side view you are getting right side of the front view, it is called first angle projection system symbol. If the left view you are getting left side of the front view, then it is called third angle projection system. That's all. Okay. This is symbol of projection system. So let me start the, so till here whatever we have discussed, the entire foundation I have given. So basics are the foundation, whatever you can consider. If you thorough with this, the entire the introduction which I have given, the basic conventions, everything. Okay, the rest of the chapter I will be using the same principle, same procedure, same orthography projection principle. I'll be using it. Only from one chapter to other chapter, I will change the objects. That's all. I'm going to change the object. That's all. Let me start with the projection of points. So point is nothing. How we can define a point? A point is a dimensionless object. It doesn't contain any dimension. Okay, a point is a dimensionless object. That's why, so we will discuss all the four quadrants in the projection of points chapter. Even though second and the third quadrant, second and fourth quadrant, where the views will overlap as well as the planes will overlap. So even if it overlaps and a point, one more point overlaps and that, it look like a point only. So I cannot call it as some other the object. So that's why we will discuss. So what we will do, all the four quadrants I will be keeping a point, some distance with respect to HP and BP, and we will try to draw the front view, top view, and even a side view. Okay. So this is just a summary, or you can keep this chart with you, easy for you to draw immediately and come to a conclusion where I need to draw a front view, where I need to draw a top view, all those things. For example, so serial number 1. So the particular object is above HP and in front of BP. It is first quadrant. Okay, it is in first quadrant. What about the position of the particular object? It is front view should come above XY line and top view should come below XY line for the first quadrant. Similarly, second serial number above HP, behind VP. So this is second quadrant, the information. So front view and top view, where we will going to get for the second quadrant? So both front view and top view, you will going to get for the second quadrant above XY line. Above the XY line, you will going to get. Similarly, the third one, below VP, behind VP, sir, third quadrant information. Okay. And what about the front view and top view? For the third quadrant, front view below XY line and top view above XY line you will going to get. Similarly, the fourth serial number, below HP in front of VP. So it's a fourth quadrant. So below HP and for the fourth quadrant, you should remember the both front view and top view will come below XY line. And coming to the fifth one, above HP on VP. A few cases, okay, it may rest on HP or it may rest on VP. Few cases. For example, this first quadrant, if it is like this, it may rest on HP like this, or it may rest on VP. Just it's touching it. So then, so we cannot give a particular quadrant for that. Okay, if it is resting on HP or VP, then we may have to give either it is situated in first quadrant or in the second or third or fourth. Two quadrants we have to give for that. Okay, when I come to the exercises, I'll explain this, the remaining four. So let me take one example. So then you will understand how to draw the projection. I'll take one example. So before starting exercises, let me give some more hints for you. Above HPMI means while drawing it, so we have to write it above XY line. Below HP means we have to, while drawing projection, we should take below XY line. Similarly, in front of VP means we need to draw below XY line. Behind VP means we need to draw above XY line. Similarly, some more clues I'll give. Always the HP information, whether it is above HP or below HP, the HP information will give you the front view information. Similarly, the VP information, that is in front of VP or behind VP, will give you the top view information. So with this clues, so let me start one simple example. The first one I'll take. Just you have to read the question and you have to understand, and you need to draw step by step to complete the drawing. Here, three views you have to draw. One is front view, top view, according to the distance with respect to HP and VP which he has given, and including side view. So the first example which he has given, which I have taken the first example. So direction of points. A point P is 30 millimeter in front of VP, 40 millimeter above HP, and 50 millimeter in front of VP. Draw its projection. Just you read it once and analyze it. Point 30 millimeter in front of VP and above HP. Above HP in front of VP, which quadrant it comes? It comes in first quadrant. So immediately, while after reading it, so you can come to conclusion that the point is in the first quadrant. Okay, now you start drawing the XY line. You draw the XY line. All these lines should be very thin lines. Okay, so this is not our object. Only our object should be made thick. Draw a XY line like this. And how to fix HP and VP, it is very, very important. For the first quadrant, okay, so what is the requirement for the first quadrant? The HP will come below XY line, and VP will come above XY line, and front view will come above XY line, and top view will going to get below XY line. And also one more hint I have given: wherever you write VP, there you have to write the front view. Wherever you write HP, there you have to write the top view. So since it is a first quadrant example, draw a XY line and write VP and HP like this. VP will come above XY line for the first quadrant, and HP you will going to get below XY line for the first quadrant. Okay, after this, let me read the first sentence. A point P is 30 millimeter in front of VP. It's in front of VP in the sense it is the top view information. In front of VP means it is below XY line. I should write the top view should be below XY line. Now you take a 30 millimeter below XY line and draw one horizontal projector line like this, and locate one point over there. At least minimum 5 millimeter distance you should give with respect to dimension line. Locate one point over there. Only the point you have to make it thick, because point is our object, and call this as the P. And let me tell you here itself the representation of the front view and top view, how to recognize it. Your top views always are represented with small letters without any dashes. Okay, P, the point P is given. I have written the small letter P. That means it is understood that it is a top view. Similarly, the same point, okay, the front view is denoted by a single dash, that is P dash. Similarly, the side view, whether it is left view or right view, that is denoted by P with double dashes. So this is also you should learn. Without a dash, if you name any point, it is understood that it is a top view. With a single dash, if you write the same letter, it is understood that it is a front view. With double dashes, you are representing that point or the particular object. It is understood that it is the side view. So you mark one point, you call it as a P. So this completes your top view. Actually, you are drawn the top view. Next sentence you can read 40 millimeter above HP. Above HP means above XY line I have to draw. And above HP means it's a front view information. Got it. Now you take 40 millimeter above XY line and draw one horizontal line. And from already P marked here, you draw a vertical projector line from P. Wherever it cuts this 40 millimeter line, you mark one more point over there and highlight it and call that as the P dash. This itself is your the front view. Always the front view and top view should come in the same vertical alignment. I cannot draw a P here and P dash somewhere. I should not disturb the position of the object, whether you are looking from the top view or whether you are looking from front view or side view. Okay, so you can able to complete the front view like this. Next, you read the third the part of it. He says 50 millimeter from right profile plane. So right profile plane, always right side to me I'll get, left profile plane I'll be getting left side to me. So how to do that? The third one. So you take 50 millimeter from the your either P or P dash point, wherever you are marked here. So you take 50 millimeter right side of you. Why means because it is right profile plane. You take 50 millimeter and draw a vertical line perpendicular to XY line. Okay, this X1 Y1 line is also this X1 Y1 line is also called as the reference line. Okay, it is the intersection of the vertical plane as well as the profile plane. So X1 Y1 line is also called as the one more reference line, and it is perpendicular to XY line. I should draw the intersection of this X1 Y1 line and XY line. We call this as the origin O. You can name it here. I'm not shown here. You can call it as the origin. After writing this X and Y1, so what I have given the hint, side view always you will going to get at the right side or left side of your different view. So this, after writing your X and Y1 line, so this is your right profile plane. So here we need to draw the side view. So now, so from this origin, wherever you have top view with you, so top view is here below XY line, you draw the 45-degree line. So why the 45-degree line is drawn here? To carry this distance, same distance to the side view. That's all. 45-degree means exactly, okay, the same distance, whatever the distance with respect to XY line you have with respect to this point P, that is 30 millimeter, same distance from X1 Y1 line also you're going to get the same distance. For that 45-degree line you can draw, or else what you can do it, you can take your compass, this origin as the center and this particular point as the radius. You can draw an arc also. That means to transfer the same distance from the top view to the side view, we need to draw 45-degree line. So from the origin you can draw the 45-degree line. After drawing a 45-degree line, what you have to do? From the top view P, you draw a horizontal projector line like this. You observe the cursor. Once it meets the 45-degree line, now you draw the vertical projector like this. You have to put the arrow marks also to some length. Now you consider the front view, that is P dash. Now you draw the horizontal projectors like this from the front view. So wherever this horizontal projector of the front view and the vertical projector of the top view intersects or coincides, you call that as the one more point. So that is nothing but the side view. You can name it as P double dash. Since it is a first the quadrant, right profile plane, which you will going to get? You will going to get left view. It's a side view which is nothing but your left view. Like this, you need to draw the projection step by step. You have to draw it like this. So this is regarding the first quadrant. So let me give one more exercise. So tomorrow's class will discuss the remaining example. Only because all the examples we cannot discuss here, because only 5 weeks is allotted for this remedial class. So the important concept and important one we'll going to discuss in the class. So the second one, the question says a point P is 45 millimeter above HP, 60 millimeter behind VP, and 30 millimeter from RPP. Draw the three principal views of projection. Also state the quadrant in which it lies. So by reading it, immediately could able to come to conclusion that above HP, behind VP. Which quadrant it is? Above HP, behind VP. It's a second quadrant, the problem. So that's why you can draw a XY line. In the second quadrant, both HP and VP will come above XY line and it will overlap. So that's why you can draw HP, VP above XY line like this. And both in the second quadrant, what is the specialty of second quadrant? Both HP and VP will overlap, as well as front view and top view will also come in the above XY line only. So after fixing the XY line, so first sentence let me read. A point P is 45 millimeter above HP. Above HP means it is front view information. You take above HP means above XY line. You take 45 millimeter above XY line like this. Locate on point, draw a horizontal line, locate on point. You call that as the front view. That is P dash. Okay. This is nothing but your front view. The front view is completed, the first part. Now the second sentence you can write 60 millimeter behind VP. So behind VP in the sense it is the top view information. Okay, behind VP means above XY line I have to draw while drawing the projection. And take 60 millimeter above XY line, draw an horizontal projector line, and already P dash you have marked, draw a vertical projector from P dash, wherever it meets 60 millimeter line, you call that as one more point and mark it as P, and this is nothing but your top view. Both front view and top view are completed. Now to draw the side view, what is the information is given? 30 millimeter from RPP. So you take 30 millimeter from the point PRP dash wherever you have drawn 30 millimeter, draw X1 Y1 line. Draw a X1 Y1 line perpendicular to your XY line. Okay. After drawing a perpendicular line X1 Y1 line 30 millimeter with respect to RPP. So this is your intersection line. Okay. So this is your intersection line. Oh. Now here where to draw the 45-degree line? The top view is here. So wherever the top view is there, you have to draw the 45-degree line. You draw a 45-degree line like this. Okay. Now let me consider the top view first. Draw a horizontal projector line till it meets the 45-degree line. Now you draw the vertical projector line. That's why the arrow mark is very, very important. Similarly, draw the horizontal projector line from the front view, P dash. So wherever this horizontal projector of the front view and the vertical projector of this top view meets or intersects, we call that as the one more point and call it as the P double dash, which is nothing but your the side view. And this entire plane is called as the RPP. Okay, and the point is situated in second quadrant. So this how you have to complete the projection. How